We stopped at grain, right? Hmm? Am I right? Okay. I want you to tell me what, why grain is important or what is grain? What does mean by the term grain?
It gives the direction of making pattern.
Grain is basically the direction in which you should keep your pattern on the fabric. Okay. So it is basically the direction. Okay, what or west direction, whether you should keep the pattern parallel to the selvage or diagonally, hmm, right, or perpendicular to the selvage. So why is it important? Why it is necessary to mention grain in your pattern? Why is it necessary to mention? Why is direction important while cutting fabric or while cutting fabric pattern out of a fabric? Why is direction important? Yes, Anna.
Good posture.
Sorry?
It gives good posture for the body or the wearers.
Good posture.
It helps.
It helps, yes. It helps to give a good fit for your garment. But why is it necessary to mention? That is the question. Why is it necessary to mark grain line on your pattern? Why is it necessary? I drew some images or just some figures, right? Last time, on last Thursday, I guess. So why is it necessary?
Dust will be uneven and it will make it hard for movement.
The grain line, the necessity of grain line is that based on the direction of your fabric. Okay, so if this is a fabric, if this is your fabric, if you stretch like this, it will be stretchable. If you take a piece of fabric, if you take a piece, not this tall, if you take a piece of fabric, if you try to stretch it, it will be stretchable in this direction. Means in perpendicular to selvage. If these two are the selvage, if these two, yes, if these two are the selvage, it will be stretchable. The stretchability of the fabric is high in this direction. Okay, but the stretchability of the fabric in this direction parallel to selvage, it is low. Okay, so what if the fabric is having high stretchability? Means it is not completely stretching. The fabric is not will not stretch like the banian stuff, the t-shirt stuff, the knitted fabrics. You know, you are wearing, if you are wearing a t-shirt, just try the stretchability, just check the stretchability of your t-shirt. It can stretch in any direction, right? It can stretch as much as you want because it is a knitted fabric. Okay, it's not a woven fabric. Banian material or the t-shirt material, it is a knitted fabric. It's not woven fabric. It is made out of a single yarn, interlooping of a single yarn. Okay, it's not weaving. So what is the difference between weaving and knitting? As we are on the topic, we can just we will just discuss about that also. Okay, so what is the difference between weaving woven fabric and knitted fabric? What is the difference between woven fabric and knitted fabric? Weaving is a process of interlacing of yarn, interlacing of two or three yarns. Okay, it's the interlacing of yarn. Weaving is basically interlacing of yarn. Whereas knitting or crochet, all these things, knitted fabric is interlooping of yarn, interlooping of a single yarn, interlooping of a single yarn. Okay, can you see the board?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is the structure of a woven fabric. This is the structure of a woven fabric. Okay. Interlacing. Just like how we draw the basket. While drawing basket, you will be drawing like this now. Hmm? This is how you draw basket, just like that. The structure of a woven fabric is similar to that only. What about knitted fabrics? It's interlooping. Interlooping of yarns. Interlooping of yarns. So this will be the structure. So in the case of woven fabric, this is not only this, we can weave it in this direction and diagonally also. Okay, diagonally means it is not weaving. We will not be weaving it diagonally, but the appearance or the structure can vary. It can also come in the diagonal direction. If you check your jeans or denim that you're wearing, if you're wearing a denim jeans pant right now, you can just see the weave. It will be diagonal. The structure will be like this. Okay. That structure is acquired to the direction of weaving. Okay. So sometimes okay. You might have learned this in your +1 year, the unit 2. Weaving structure, weave structure. So you will, your teacher might have taught you to draw this weaving structure. Okay. So warp yarn, warp yarn, warp yarn, warp yarn. Okay. So the structure of denim will be like this. Okay. So you might or you might not. I don't know. Do you guys know? Have you ever seen this weaving structure, weave structure or weave diagram? Unit 2. It's there in +1 Unit 2 chapter. Okay. So Saeed Sadiq, who is this? Okay. So weave structure. So based on the pattern, based on some fabric will be having printed patterns on it. Some will be having woven patterns. So in Unit 1, jacquard loom. We talked about jacquard loom, right? What is the speciality of jacquard loom? Jacquard loom will help us to weave intricate patterns, right? So jacquard loom will help us to weave intricate pattern. If you get a piece of, if just take a piece of sari or a star, you can just check anything, okay, or a piece of, just a piece of fabric, or you can just check your bed sheet, sari of your mom, or the shawl you used to wear, the star used to wear, a printed or a fabric with a pattern or design on it. How can you differentiate a printed fabric from a woven fabric, woven patterned fabric? How can you differentiate both? How can you differentiate a printed fabric from a woven fabric? If it is a print, so for a fabric or for a piece of garment or whether it is a bed sheet, it will have right side and wrong side, right? Inside side will be there and outside side will be there, right? If the design, if the fabric looks just the same, both inside and outside, then it is a woven fabric, woven patterned fabric. Okay. If it is a woven fabric, then the design will be there in both the sides, wrong side and right side. The pattern will be there on both the sides because it is woven. If it is a printed fabric, the other side will not be having that particular design, or sometimes you can see the design, but it will not be evident as the other side, like the other side. Okay. So that is printed fabric. Okay. So how will you weave this complicated or intricate patterns onto your fabric? You know weaving process, right? Yarns will be yarns will be attached on warp direction and weft direction. It will be woven, right? So a set of yarns will be connected on your loom, on your hand loom. Am I right? And another set of yarns will be taken in between through the yarns that is already connected on your lacing. So slight changes in these yarns that is taken in between these yarns that is connected in your loom can create these patterns on a fabric. Okay. So this weaving structure will let the weaver know, let you know that which yarn should be taken in this place. Okay. So that's how weaving structure or weave diagram can help you. Is that clear? So I will just try to show you guys. Okay. So I'm having so I attached red yarns onto my loom. Okay. red yarn that is attached to my loom. And I want a red, blue, and yellow striped shirt. Okay. Or a fabric. So one shuttle will be there with blue yarns. One shuttle will be there with yellow yarns. Okay. So simultaneously, they will take yellow yarn, blue yarn, yellow yarn, blue yarn in between these red yarns that is already connected in the loom to create red, yellow, blue stripes or checked pattern. It's not necessary that a single colored yarn will be attached to your loom. It can be double shaded. Like you can, instead of using red here, you can just connect blue and yellow based on your pattern, basic structure. Okay. Okay. And when it comes to fur fabric, fur, you know fur, what is fur, right? You might be having some teddy bears or stuffed toys and all with you. Okay. So have you ever noticed the direction of those fur, those fibers? You have hair, right, in your head. Okay, your hair is having a direction, right? Even if you untie it, it will fall backward. Am I right? It has a direction. Your hair is attached to your scalp in a particular direction. Hmm? Even if you check those stuffed toys or teddy bears or that dolls, if you check those dolls, just take your hand above that fabric. It will be having a direction. In one direction, it will show light shade. In another direction, it will show a darker shade. Okay. So all these minute fibers or thread that is attached onto the base structure to form that furry fabric or that fur fabric is attached in a particular direction. It will be attached backward or frontward, the right direction or left direction. Okay. So if the right side of the doll is cut, if you are cutting the right side of the doll in that right direction, you should cut the left side of the doll also in that particular direction only. Otherwise, while manufacturing, both the side will look different. Okay. So one side will be like looking like that spike hairstyle that boys used to wear, right? Before. Now I don't think these boys have that particular hairstyle. Now I guess they don't do that anymore. So it will look like that. It will be spike everywhere. If you don't cut the fur fabric in the right direction. Okay. So direction or grain line is very important. Whether you are cutting your fur fabric, whether you are cutting your woven fabric. Okay. And you should also check the design. If it is a designed fabric, you will be having a design with you, right? A garment design with you. You will be cutting that particular fabric for that particular design. So I was having this images, but I don't know whether I can share it or not because it was from the company that I used to do my internship during my undergrad. So I don't know whether I can share it. So, but I will just tell you. So I talked about tech pack, right? I mentioned about tech pack while manufacturing a garment. If you are working in a manufacturing unit, you will be getting orders from a particular brand, for manufacturing a particular design at your company. They will be sending you a tech pack which mentions each and every single details about the garment that is going to be manufactured. If it is a printed fabric with leaves, flowers, and thorns in it, they will even mention how the width of the flower, the length of the petal, the color of the petal, how many petals should be there in that print. Okay, how many leaves should it have, and where that leaf should come. Okay, each and every minute detail will be there. So after ordering the fabric, we will be like, yes, this the flower is yellow, the leaf is green, the stem is brown, and it is having thorns. So yes, this is perfect. But after coming, they will reject. After we send this particular swatch to that company or to the brand, they will reject it because it is, if they mention 4 petals, then the flower should only have 4 petals. If they want a 5 centimeter petal, if it is 5.5 or a 4 centimeter petal, then they will not permit it. Okay. So after buying a particular piece of fabric, we will measure this everything using tape. We will measure how apart this flower is from the selvage. Everything will be measured. Okay. What happened? What happened if while in between manufacturing this particular set of garments, you are manufacturing a set of garments, and in between you ran out of you run out of fabric. You ordered 35 meters of fabric, and in between the production you run out of fabric. What will you do? You will have to order the fabric again, right? So is it necessary that you will receive the same type of fabric, the exact petal size, petal distance, and everything? See, once this happened, while I was working there, this happened that it was having this paisley motif. Okay, we manufactured a set of garments, and we ran out of fabric. Yes, it was a black glazed paisley fabric. And we ordered another set of fabric. We ordered it again. And what we received was the exact mirror of the one that we ordered first. Exact mirror. Okay. Everything is same, but the pattern or the fabric is mirrored. The pattern is mirrored. Okay. So it comes as a batch. It's a set of garment, right? So we can't afford the change. We can't let that happen. Okay. So direction is very important. Whether we are buying fabric, whether we are cutting. So what might have caused that shortage of fabric? What might have caused the shortage? Any idea? What might have caused the shortage? So we talked about grain line, we talked about Eve, we talked about test fit or prototypes, right? You know what is a prototype. So while manufacturing, after we receive a design, we will make a prototype. Even as a design student, you will be asked to make a prototype or a test fit before you manufacture, before you produce or stitch the actual garment. So by doing that, you will get to know how much fabric is required for making that particular piece of garment. If you are going to make 35 pieces, you will now, after creating the test fit, now you know how much fabric is required for one garment, right? And from that, you can calculate how much fabric is required for 35 garments. And based on that, you can buy fabric you can source fabric. So what happened while manufacturing? Okay, while manufacturing, you made an error while manufacturing. The test fit was done, it got approved. You ordered exact amount of fabric for this 35 pieces, and while manufacturing, so if you are manufacturing a shirt, if you are manufacturing a shirt is having a lot of what? It is having cuff, it have placket in the front. There is collar will be there. Yoke will be there. Front, two front pieces will be there. Then a back piece will be there apart from yoke. Multiple pieces are there for a shirt. So each of these parts will be manufactured in different sections. Okay. So if Meghna is stitching cuff, then she will be stitching cuff only. She will be stitching cuff for small, medium, large, double XL for all the sizes. She will be stitching cuff only. So as she is an expert in stitching cuff, she will finish it within minutes. Okay, so she will be stitching cuff only. Anna will be stitching collars only. Sana will be stitching yokes only. And Steffi will be concentrating just on the front right side piece. And Malavika will be concentrating on left side piece only. And Raina will be concentrating on back piece. And one will be concentrating on these plackets. So that is how manufacturing happens. And after that, all these pieces will be collected and they will segregate this according to the sizes and everything. And another person will be joining all these parts. Okay. That is how manufacturing happens. Okay. So what happens while assembling? So assembling, everything is manufactured by stitched by different person, right? And this will come to another section. And while assembling, if one switched, while assembling, one medium piece was assembled with large size. And it went for manufacture, completing the stitching process, and and they assembled it and they completed manufacturing. While fitting, will it fit properly? No, right? So set, that's where set comes. So medium, it's a set. Large, it's a set. For a shirt, there are a set of pieces. You shouldn't miss anything. If an error occurs like that, if medium got mixed up with large and manufacturing happens in such a way, then it is an error, right? It will not fit properly. During quality checking, it will get rejected. Then again, they will have to manufacture that piece. Do you have fabric for that? No, right? Fabric shortage will happen. And what if I ordered 35 meters of fabric for that particular garment? What happens now? I just need 35 meter for 15 garments. I need 35 meters of fabric. 32, maybe 32 meters of fabric, but I have 35 meters with me. So I'm like, yeah, I have 3 meters extra. So I can just cut the fabric. I can use the fabric lavishly. If I think like that, after thinking, I will be just randomly keeping my patterns and I will be cutting because I have 3 meter extra, right? I have 3 meter extra. What if an error happens during manufacturing? Then we don't have fabric for that extra piece, right? So while manufacturing or while making a garment, you should utilize the fabric maximum. Okay, you shouldn't waste it. You should always try to avoid fabric wastage as much as possible, so that you can reduce the production cost and so that you will have some extra fabric if some error occurs in between. We all are human, right? It's possible for error to occur.
And
Yes, Jeffrey.
what happens to the clothes that are rejected?
Sometimes they will put it for sale. Okay. Sometimes, so if you check, there will be these commercial street and all, right? You know, commercial street in Bangalore, in Mumbai, in all these, in Delhi and all, there are these streets, which sell these fashion products for a very cheaper price. Okay, very cheaper price. Um, I don't know about Bangalore. Bangalore, I didn't find it much attractive. I didn't like it at all. But Mumbai, it's really good. Hmm. Mumbai, the style, the variety, it's really good. Mumbai is really good. The streets in Mumbai. Uh, so in these places, they sell these products for much cheaper prices. You can buy these from factory outlets. Factory outlet stores are there. So some surveys is going on. Steffi, your question. What happens to the rejected pieces, right? So they will sell it to these retailers, these people, and they will sell it like that. And the company, the manufacturing unit will put a sale, so the employees can buy from there, or the people who are aware of these kind of activities can come and buy these pieces for much cheaper price. Much cheaper means the actual price of this product will be 20,000 or something. If it is a branded or a luxury or premium brand, for others, I guess they will just sell it like that only, for that mass produced and all. They will just sell it. They will just keep it in the store and they will just sell it. So in the case of luxury brands, premium brands, they will put it on sale. The manufacturing unit will put it on sale. The brand will not take it. The brand will reject it. The manufacturing unit can sell it for sale. In the case of luxury brand like Louis Vuitton and all, they will, as I said, their product, I don't know, but the product that will remain in the store after one particular season, they will just burn it. They will not even put it for sale. So in the case of that products, I guess, yes, they will not sell it. They might be destroying it. Okay. But in the case of Alice and Olivia and all, they put it on sale. Okay. Manufacturing unit, not the brand. Okay. The manufacturing unit will put it on sale or will sell it to some other people, like these vendors, street vendors and all, right? Okay.